The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD abruptly interrupted life in Pompeii, but the city's trajectory remains in constant motion. Almost 2 millennia later, the site continues to be one of the most active archaeological fields in the world, where each new excavation unearths fascinating clues from the ashes, such as charred ceramics and biological remains. These artifacts, ranging from everyday objects to extraordinary finds, offer a detailed and vibrant glimpse into Roman society of the time. Prepare to discover 20 of the most surprising finds ever revealed by excavations within the confines of this historic city. But before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Number 20. The date unknown. The famous eruption of Mount Vesuvius that devastated the ancient city of Pompeii was, for a long time, recorded as having occurred on August 24th of the year 79 AD. This date, recorded in historical records, was accepted for centuries. However, new evidence suggests that the eruption that buried Pompeii may have occurred much later in the year, possibly in October or even November. A revealing inscription found among renovation works in the city provides a crucial clue. This new discovery in Pompeii has changed history. The charcoal inscription uses the Roman dating system and marks the day as the 16th day before the kalends of November, equivalent to October 17th. It is important to note that this inscription was not intended to last, as it was probably written on a white wall as part of the preparation for the renovation of a fresco. Archaeologists are certain that this date was recorded in 79 AD, as the charcoal would have disappeared quickly, making it an extremely precise contemporary piece of evidence. This new chronology is also supported by the discovery of well-preserved remains in the ruins, including typical autumn fruits at their peak and heavier protective clothing, items that do not correspond to the normally scorching August climate in the region. This mid-October date opens up a veritable box of possibilities. Did the eruption really occur later than previously believed? Was Pompeii in full activity and renewal until its final moments? The veil of time still shrouds parts of the history of this ancient city, while scholars continue to explore the clues hidden beneath layers of ash and history. Number 19. The tragic fate of a newborn. The devastation caused by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD is perhaps best represented by the discoveries of the remains of a newborn baby and a pregnant woman among the ruins of Pompeii. These heartbreaking discoveries offer a painful glimpse into the reality faced by the city's most vulnerable inhabitants as they desperately tried to escape the catastrophe. During meticulous excavations, archaeologists found the remains of a newborn baby next to the body of a woman, a tragic scene suggesting she gave birth amidst the disaster. Elsewhere in the city, the body of a pregnant woman was found, her belly clearly visible in the plaster cast. Studies indicated that she was approximately 36 weeks pregnant and likely preparing for the birth of her child. Tragically, the baby never had the chance to breathe for the first time, as the eruption took both their lives. Number 18. Pliny's vivid account the Younger. Much of what we know about the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius and its devastating impact on Pompeii comes from the detailed account written by Pliny the Great, the Younger. Although he was not in Pompeii at the time of the event, his uncle, Pliny, the Elder, played a crucial role during the tragedy. Pliny, the Elder, was a renowned scholar and military commander, and when the eruption began, he bravely attempted to rescue victims. Unfortunately, he died during the attempt, but his nephew carefully recorded the unfolding of the disaster in a series of letters sent to the historian Tacitus. Pliny's accounts the Younger impressively describes the events that preceded the eruption, including the signs that indicated the impending catastrophe. He described the enormous and unusual cloud rising from the volcano, a harbinger of the destruction to come. His writing also portrays the chaos that followed, the darkness that covered the region when the ash cloud blocked the sun, and the desperate attempts of the population to flee or find shelter. Number 17. The lovers embracing. At the beginning of the 20th century, archaeologists discovered a striking and unforgettable scene among the ruins of Pompeii. Two individuals locked in an eternal embrace, their final moments preserved by the eruption. Initially, it was believed that the remains belonged to a couple or perhaps two young women. However, more recent scientific analyses, including DNA testing, have revealed a surprising twist. In fact, the remains belonged to two men who were not related. Were they close friends, family members, or even lovers in a society more open to diverse forms of human connection? The ambiguity surrounding their identities and the intimacy captured in the plaster cast continue to fascinate people worldwide, leading us to reflect on untold stories and complex relationships in ancient Pompeii. Number 16. The Villa of Mysteries. Located outside the main city center, the Villa of Mysteries is one of the best preserved properties in the ancient world. This magnificent villa is famous for its elaborate frescoes, considered some of the most impressive and well-preserved from the Roman era. What makes it unique is the large fresco that covers an entire room, depicting a sequence of scenes that intrigue scholars to this day. This artwork is believed to depict initiation rituals of a mysterious cult, possibly dedicated to the god Dionysus, associated with wine and fertility. The images present a variety of emotions and actions, from ritual dances to the dramatic flagellation of initiates. This has generated ongoing debate about the true meaning of the setting, with different interpretations being proposed. Some believe the site was used for the initiation of women into the Dionysian mysteries, where rituals and knowledge were shared among a privileged few. Others see the scenes as symbolic representations of the phases of life, from birth to marriage, marking a dual transformation. Number 15. Plaster molds. One of the most striking and disturbing aspects of the Pompeii tragedy are the plaster casts that preserve the final moments of the victims. These figures offer a shocking and moving portrait of the suffering endured by the city's inhabitants. These molds were made possible thanks to the groundbreaking work of the Italian archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli. During the initial excavations, Giuseppe Fiorelli noticed cavities in the hardened ash that corresponded to the bodies of the victims. He then developed a revolutionary technique, filling these spaces with liquid plaster. Once the material hardened, the surrounding ash was carefully removed, revealing detailed molds that preserved not only the position of the bodies, but also their expressions and even clothing. The realism of these molds is impressive, allowing one to visualize the despair and pain experienced in those final moments. These relics continue to thrill visitors from all over the world, creating a direct and impactful connection to the tragedy that occurred more than 2,000 years ago. Number 14. The Garden of Fugitives. In 1961, a remarkable discovery was made by Amedeo Maiuri, then in charge of Pompeii, in what was known as the Garden of the Fugitives. The area, which originally housed two houses, was later transformed into a vegetable garden and vineyard, located near the large palestra and close to the Nocera Gate. Amedeo Maiuri's team found the remains of 13 people who died during the eruption. The final positions of the victims were preserved in cavities within the hardened ash. To record these forms, archaeologists used the plaster cast technique, creating detailed molds that clearly show the victims' bodies. Today, these molds are arranged in a poignant formation, revealing the final moments of agony. The positions indicate a desperate attempt to find shelter, with men, women, and children pressed against a wall, some trying in vain to protect their loved ones. Number 13. The Ancient Laundry Elixir. Among the most curious aspects of daily life in Pompeii is the operation of the public laundries. These establishments, dating back approximately 2,000 years, underwent a major restoration project costing an impressive 105 million euros. In these laundries, archaeologists found large tanks, stone basins, and structures where people washed, dyed, and even ironed clothes. However, the most surprising discovery is the use of urine as a cleaning agent. Valued for its ammonia content, urine was an extremely effective natural resource for removing dirt and stains, especially in the absence of modern soaps. The process involved collecting urine from public latrines or directly from homes, which was then stored in large containers with water. The ammonia present in the urine broke down grease and dirt, ensuring a deep cleaning of the tissues. Number 12. Remarkable oral health. Among the many surprising and intriguing discoveries unearthed in the ruins of Pompeii, one stands out as particularly unexpected and impressive: the excellent dental health of the city's inhabitants. Contrary to the common idea of poor oral hygiene in the ancient world, recent research has revealed that most residents of Pompeii had extraordinarily well-preserved teeth, with an absence of cavities and gum disease. This striking revelation is largely attributed to the diet of the Pompeians, which differed significantly from the ultra-processed, sugar-rich foods that dominate modern diets. Unlike current habits, the diet in ancient Pompeii consisted mainly of fruits, vegetables, and grains, with limited sugar consumption. This dietary pattern played a key role in reducing the incidence of tooth decay among the city's population. The air and water in the region also contained high levels of fluoride, a natural compound known to strengthen tooth enamel and prevent decay. This environmental factor, resulting from emissions from Mount Vesuvius, likely contributed to the robust dental health observed in the remains of Pompeii's inhabitants. Number 11. The valuable horse. In 2018, during excavations north of Pompeii, archaeologists made a stunning discovery: the exceptionally well-preserved remains of a complete horse fitted with a military-style harness made of iron and bronze. This remarkable find was not an isolated case, but the beginning of an even more extraordinary revelation. As the excavations continued, researchers found the remains of up to 3 horses, at least one of which exhibited characteristics typical of a high-status animal. The horse's size, approximately 1.5 meters tall at the withers, was considered large for the time, suggesting the existence of select and valued animals in the Pompeii region. The presence of the valuable military-style harness near the animal's head indicates that it likely belonged to the elite, highlighting the importance and status of its owner. Number 10. The Mystic Sanctuary. Among the numerous archaeological wonders found in Pompeii, one of the most impressive is an extremely well-preserved ancient sanctuary known as a lararium. These sacred spaces, dedicated to the household deities who protected Roman homes, offer a glimpse into the religious beliefs and practices of the city's inhabitants. The lararium discovered in Pompeii resembled a hidden garden, richly decorated and adorned with detailed frescoes depicting a variety of fascinating scenes and figures. The vividness and level of detail in these paintings are impressive, especially considering they are almost 2,000 years old. The frescoes present an intriguing collection of images, including serpents, a peacock, golden animals fighting a black boar, birds, a well, a basin, and a hybrid figure, part man and part dog, possibly inspired by the Egyptian god Anubis. This combination of symbols creates an almost mystical atmosphere, revealing the complexity of the Roman pantheon. Lararium altar. Symbolic elements such as eggs, associated with fertility, were also found. Archaeologists discovered charred remains near the altar, which were likely food offerings such as eggs, figs, or nuts, dedicated to deities linked to fertility and domestic rituals. The presence of these images around the altar reinforces the religious importance of this sacred space. It is possible that, in their final moments, as ash and destruction engulfed Pompeii, some people sought comfort and spiritual connection within this sanctuary. Number 9. The tragic fate of the watchdog. Among the most poignant discoveries made in the ruins of Pompeii is the plaster cast of a guard dog, tragically chained to a post and unable to escape the eruption that destroyed the city. The mold, discovered on November 20, 1874, depicts the animal belonging to a wealthy Pompeian named Marcus Viconius Primus. Upon realizing the imminent danger, he fled the city, abandoning his faithful companion, which remained chained in the atrium, an area designated for collecting rainwater. Imagine the animal's desperation as it tried to free itself, while the rain of ash flooded the place. As the ash filled the atrium, slowly enveloping the dog, its last moments must have been marked by panic and suffering. Trapped by the chain, he likely fought to the end, trying to escape inevitable death. Unfortunately, his efforts were in vain, and the animal succumbed to ashes, his final position immortalized in the plaster cast. Number 8. The unluckiest man. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time has rarely been as literal as in the case of Pompeii's unluckiest man. Trapped during the eruption of Vesuvius, it was initially believed that he had died after being struck by a huge rock that crushed his head. However, recent discoveries have challenged this theory, leading to a reassessment of the circumstances of his death. After a more detailed analysis, scientists realized that the man's skull was intact, contradicting the idea of death by crushing. Further studies of the remains, including the thorax, limbs, and jaw, indicated a different explanation. The most widely accepted theory currently suggests that his death was due to asphyxiation caused by the pyroclastic flow released during the eruption. Number 7. The devastating power of the eruption of Vesuvius. The magnitude of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius is almost impossible to comprehend, even when compared to some of the greatest man-made disasters in modern history. Experts draw striking parallels between the event and the explosion of an atomic bomb, estimating that the eruption released about 100,000 times more thermal energy than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. Around 1 p.m. on the day of the tragedy, the top of the volcano literally exploded, launching an immense cloud of gas, ash, and rocks into the atmosphere. This material quickly blocked out the sun, plunging Pompeii into total and terrifying darkness. The force of the eruption was so intense that it is believed the city was destroyed in just 15 minutes, with no chance of escape for its inhabitants. For comparison, the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima released energy equivalent to about 15 times that of the atomic bomb. Kilotons of TNT. Pyroclastic flows descended the volcano's slopes at speeds exceeding 160 kilometers per hour, reaching temperatures of around 300 degrees Celsius. For the residents who were in the path of this phenomenon, there was no possibility of survival. Number 6. Warnings that went ignored. It is a cruel irony that the inhabitants of Pompeii were not entirely without warning signs before the tragedy that would destroy their city. In fact, Mount Vesuvius had already shown clear signs of instability for almost 2 decades before the eruption of 79 AD. 17 years before the disaster, a major earthquake had caused significant damage to the city, leaving many buildings in ruins and leading many residents to abandon the place. This event already indicated that the region was seismic and potentially dangerous. In the following years, other strange signs began to appear, such as wells drying up, vineyards on the slopes of Vesuvius wilting, and an increase in seismic activity. Despite these signs, the population seems to have ignored the warnings. The volcano had been inactive for centuries, which created a false sense of security. Furthermore, Pompeii was a popular leisure destination for Romans, and the idea of an impending disaster didn't seem enough to disrupt the city's routine. Now it's the turn of today's registrant to choose. This new discovery in Pompeii has changed history. Archaeologists claim that Pompeii was not a military fortress. The city did not possess the strategic importance of other locations in the Bay of Naples. So why were Roman soldiers stationed in this relatively ordinary city? The mystery deepens with the discovery, in the 1980s, of the remains of a high-ranking Roman officer. Initially mistaken for an ordinary soldier, his unusual physique and the objects found beside him revealed his true status. What was a high-ranking officer doing in Pompeii? Was he involved in a desperate rescue mission during the eruption? Or was there something else going on? What are your theories? Number 5. The middle class of Pompeii. In the shadow of the opulent villas and luxurious lifestyle of Pompeii's elite, a recent archaeological discovery has shed light on the everyday lives of the city's middle-class inhabitants. In 2022, during excavations in the ancient city, archaeologists unearthed a two-story residence that offered a striking contrast to the extravagant homes of the wealthy. Unlike the grand frescoed villas typically associated with Pompeii's upper classes, this middle-class dwelling featured more modest characteristics, such as clay floors and unpainted walls. However, the artifacts found inside the house tell a story of ambition and personal aspirations, not just survival. Among the finds were ceramic tableware, decorative objects, lamps, and even more personal items such as an emptied chest, a bed, and a terracotta perfume burner shaped like a cradle. These discoveries portray a comfortable yet simple lifestyle, quite different from the extravagant opulence seen in the homes of the Pompeian elite. The variety of objects, from basic everyday utensils to more valuable items made of bronze or glass, suggests that the inhabitants of this middle-class house harbored a desire to improve their social standing, as is the case in many societies today. This contrast between need and aspiration, reflected in the objects found, offers a fascinating glimpse into the social diversity of ancient Pompeii. The history of Pompeii is not defined solely by the grandeur of its aristocracy. It also encompasses the experiences and ambitions of a significant portion of the population, who worked hard to support themselves and their families while dreaming of a more prestigious future. Stabian baths. Baths were the foundation of social life in ancient Rome, and the Stabian baths in Pompeii exemplify this perfectly. Dating from around 125 BC, these sprawling baths, with their various pools and ornate chambers, are among the oldest known bathing complexes in the ancient world. The structure and design of the Stabian baths offer valuable insights into the advanced Roman understanding of thermal regulation and their appreciation for artistic expression. The complex featured a variety of rooms, each equipped with distinct heating systems to cater to the different preferences of visitors, demonstrating the Romans' meticulous attention to detail and their ability to create sophisticated, temperature-controlled environments. Beyond its functional aspects, the complex was adorned with a wealth of artistic elements, including stunning frescoes, intricate mosaics, and elaborately sculpted statues. These visual details lent the bathing experience a sense of serene beauty and cultural sophistication as visitors relaxed in the warm waters surrounded by true works of art. The Stabian baths were not merely utilitarian spaces focused on personal hygiene. They were fundamental centers of social interaction and community life in ancient Pompeii. These large, carefully planned complexes functioned as meeting points where city residents could socialize, make contacts, and strengthen bonds, similar to the role of some leisure spaces today. Number 3. Pompeii and the bread. Flatbread was a common food in the ancient city of Pompeii. Excavations have revealed about 40 bakeries, the largest of which was equipped with several mills, a dough mixing machine, and a huge oven capable of producing up to 2,000 loaves of bread per day. Among the finds were 80 charred loaves of bread, found intact inside the ovens. The loaves of bread, which typically measured about 25 centimeters in diameter and weighed approximately 580 grams, were often adorned with fruits, nuts, and seeds, demonstrating the sophistication of Pompeii's culinary traditions. The discovery of detailed frescoes depicting the bread-making process has further deepened our understanding of the importance of this food in the city. These works vividly illustrate the stages of production, from kneading the dough to the final moment in the oven, offering a glimpse into the bustling bakeries that once operated on the vibrant streets of Pompeii. Interestingly, these circular flatbreads produced in Pompeii closely resembled modern pizza, although they lacked the characteristic toppings of cheese and tomato. This ancient version of flatbread, with its variety of fruits and nuts, represents a fascinating precursor to the culinary creations so beloved today. Number 2. Graffiti. The ancient city of Pompeii, frozen in time by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, has revealed a lesser-known but profoundly human aspect of its history through the discovery of graffiti etched into its walls. These inscriptions offer a raw and intimate portrait of the daily life and most personal thoughts of the people who lived in this ancient city almost 2,000 years ago, revealing surprising parallels with how we express ourselves today. What is most remarkable about the Pompeii graffiti is its striking similarity to the ways in which we share thoughts and experiences today. Ranging from the profound to the vulgar, these inscriptions address a wide variety of themes, including declarations of love, political support, announcements of events, and simple affirmations of existence, reflecting a spontaneous exchange of ideas, much like the modern use of social media. Among the writings, some reveal personal stories, such as two friends immortalizing their bond in a bar, or a political critique attributed to the financial officer of Emperor Nero. Love emerges as a timeless theme, with messages of affection or heartbreak, while other texts serve as a kind of precursor to modern reviews, offering opinions on where to eat or drink in the city. Number 1. Culinary delights. The ancient city of Pompeii is famous for its sophisticated lifestyle and culinary diversity. A rich mosaic of flavors has been extraordinarily preserved through the archaeological remains found in the ruins. One of the most fascinating and well-preserved discoveries in this context is the ancient equivalent of a modern diner, known as a thermopolium. These establishments, a kind of fast food restaurant of the time, were an essential part of Roman urban life, serving those who did not have a kitchen at home or who were simply too busy to prepare their own meals. Excavations of a particularly well-preserved thermopolium in Pompeii have offered a tantalizing glimpse into the culinary options and layout of these ancient eating areas. Among the finds were remains of snails, a prized delicacy in Roman cuisine, often prepared with herbs and spices to create flavorful and nutritious dishes. The presence of fish bones further reinforces the food diversity available to the people of Pompeii, demonstrating their appreciation for the resources of the sea. What truly distinguishes these thermopolia is their ingenious design, with large containers known as dolia embedded in the counters to facilitate the storage and efficient service of hot, ready-to-eat meals. This structure allowed owners to serve their customers quickly, much like the convenience of fast food establishments today. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.